Continuing from the previous episode 605. Big brother, I knew you were fine. Xiao Yi was the first to feel Xiao Yan's breath, and then walked away with a single stride. Xiao Yan and Xiao Yi instantly hugged each other, and their deep affection was undoubtedly revealed. How is it? Xiao Yi and Xiao Yan separated and asked a little fiery. Well, it succeeded, Xiao Yan said calmly, and then on the palm of his hand, an extremely bright khaki yellow holy flame quietly emerged. With the appearance of this khaki flame, the terrifying temperature around it rose sharply, and even the spatial dimension sent out a slight tremor fluctuation. This is the power of holy flames? Seeing this, Xiao Yi's pupils immediately emitted a terrifying wave, as if she was extremely curious about the holy flames on Xiao Yan's palm. Holy Yan ranked 35th, Huoxin Tianyan. Xiao Yan said lightly, but what's the matter with the power of holy flame and the power of different fire? Xiao Yi and Xiao Yan had some secret connection, and immediately discovered the abnormality in Xiao Yan's body. This thing, I'm afraid I have to take it slow, Xiao Yan said helplessly, obviously swallowing the holy flame, but the holy flame and the strange flame in the body have always been in a hostile attitude. If it is not Xiao Yan to separate the two forces, the terror will explode in the body in an instant. What? Your aura seems to be. Just when Xiao Yan and Xiao Yi were chatting jokingly, that Mu Feng suddenly appeared on the right side of Xiao Yan, and then his eyes were fixed on Xiao Yan. There seemed to be an extremely terrifying aura on Xiao Yan's body, which made Mu Feng slightly surprised. Mu Feng is now the strength of the late 5-star Dou Emperor, and Xiao Yan's such aura was not there when they left the desert mountain range. I was lucky to break through. Xiao Yan smiled slowly, but did not hide it. After all, these people are all people who can meet and make friends. 6-star Dou Di, the green flute, who had always been taciturn, suddenly spoke up, now looking at Xiao Yan. Almost, Xiao Yan explained a little. Then what is the level of your Dou Di tribulation? The next moment, after a brief hesitation, Mu Feng immediately asked Xiao Yan. Dou Emperor Tribulation? Xiao Yan heard the words, and his heart sank immediately. His own strength in the late stage of the 6-star Dou Emperor has never broken through any Dou Emperor Tribulation. At most, after swallowing Sheng Yan, Fen Zhu evolved, causing Xiao Yan's strength to skyrocket, and there was no Emperor Dou Tribulation at all. Don't tell me that you broke through to the 6-star Dou Emperor without going through the Dou Emperor Tribulation? Mu Feng, the boss with wide-eyed eyes, then looked at Xiao Yan like a monster. There has never been a Dou Emperor Tribulation. When I devoured the holy flame in the desert mountain range, the Dou Emperor Tribulation may have been covered up by the mystery of the desert mountain range or the power of the holy flame. Xiao Yan thought about it for a long time, and that was all he could do. A reasonable approach. Nonsense, you have some mysterious powers in your body. If you survive the Dou Emperor Tribulation, you will be very successful, but why haven't you survived the Dou Emperor Tribulation? Strange thing. Xin Yan in Xiao Yan's body let out a doubt, obviously suspicious of what Mu Feng and the others said. Impossible. We were soaked in the Xuanling Emperor Pond. We have a high chance of success in breaking through the 6-star Dou Emperor, and even if it is to cross the Dou Emperor Tribulation, it will be even more terrifying. And I heard that only after stepping through the Dou Di Tribulation and stepping into the 6-star Dou Di will the power of life and death in the body. Mu Yingying stared at Xiao Yan for a while, but she could only feel the power of a very terrifying flame. Thinking about it, it was the power of holy flame, but he didn't have the slightest sense of the power of life and death. But you don't have any power of life and death in your body. It's really strange, Mu Yingying said slowly towards Xiao Yan with her beautiful eyes. What? The power of life and death will be born only after passing through the Emperor's Tribulation? Xiao Yan's expression was rather embarrassing at the next moment. Because as Mu Yingying said, although Xiao Yan's current strength has reached the late stage of the 6-star Dou Emperor, he does not have any power of life and death in his body. The reason why the 6-star Dou Emperor can be said to be a watershed of the Dou Emperor is because if you want to set foot in the 6-star Dou Emperor, you must go through the 6-star Dou Emperor Tribulation. The 6-star Dou Di Tribulation is divided into 1 to 9 levels, with the first level being the lowest and the 9th level being the highest. Having experienced the baptism of Dou Di Tribulation, the power of life and death will be continuously born in the body. The power of life and death is brighter and more terrifying than the fighting spirit. This is the trump card of the 6-star Dou D powerhouse. The Dou D Jia that disappeared inexplicably, is a bit mysterious. Xiao Yi said earnestly. Xiao Yi knew little about these things of human beings. After all, Xiao Yi was just a fire elf. Forget it. Wait until I go back and ask Elder Zhu. Xiao Yan was extremely surprised when he saw this, but he also knew that the few people here probably didn't know much, so he exited. Forget it, just come back. Seeing this, the four of them spoke. What, is there something good? Xiao Yan said with a smile. Since swallowing the holy flame, not only has the strength skyrocketed, but even the power to control the fire has become even more powerful. On top of that, due to the skyrocketing soul power of the soul liquid, I am afraid that the refining technology has skyrocketed by a lot. Your retreat is for 5 years. During these 5 years, the layout of Zon Santian has changed a bit. Mu Feng smiled. Obviously he knew quite a lot about these gossips. Don't give a shit, hurry up and say it. The green flute on the side rolled her eyes at Mu Feng, and then said. Let's talk about the Xuanling royal family first. The most powerful force of the Xuanling royal family, the Dragon Addiction Legion, the deputy head and several powerful people, together with the Xuanling king, have disappeared, although the Xuanling royal family has tried their best to suppress it and seems to have gone somewhere. I haven't come linked to back www.novelntl.com, but this matter has been noticed by many people. Many people have predicted that the Xuanling royal family will change. Furthermore, the Purgatory Hall has killed a lot of people from the ghost world, but they found a huge gap. They suspect that people from the ghost world have entered our Xuanxian Santian, but the truth of this matter is not allowed. And no, in the end, among the other major super sects, competitions were held one after another, trying to select the best seedlings, so as to participate in the super sect competition 2 years later. Mu Feng smiled slowly. In 5 years, a lot of things have really happened. Xiao Yan heard the words and immediately had some plans in mind. The grievances between the Xuanling royal family and the Fenxiang Pavilion are already deep, and the Xuanling imperial family is sad. This is what the people in the Fenxiang Pavilion want to see, but Xiao Yan has always wondered where the people of the Xuanling imperial family have gone. It seems that the members of the Xuanling royal family, the entire dragon-loving legion and the Xuanling king have all gone to the desert of death. It is unknown why. In addition to the discovery of the gap in the ghost world eroding Zon Santian, Xiao Yan was also not afraid of whether there were ghosts entering Xuanxian Santian to plot mischief. After all, there was such a thing as a soul-devouring talisman. You said that all the major sects are conducting competitions. Do you know how our Fenxiang Pavilion competition is going? Xiao Yan hesitated for a while before asking suddenly. Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang Wu, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Koem, because just below the Burning Heaven territory, it seemed that I heard someone in the Hall of Earth say that the individual competitions seemed to be over. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 606. Our competition at Burning Incense Pavilion is different from other places. It is divided into individual competitions and team competitions. Individual competitions can greatly demonstrate one's strength and become famous for their personal strength. As long as there is no serious injury or death in the battle, no one will interfere. The team competition is divided into 5 players. In addition to the cooperative battles with each other, I heard that it is necessary to go to some dangerous places to complete some tasks. However, whether it is the first place in the individual competition or the first place in the team competition, you can enter the Douji Pavilion in the depths of the Fenxiang Pavilion to find what you need. Mu Feng said with some fiery eyes. Obviously he was very interested in the Douji Pavilion. For fiery, Dojij Pavilion, Xiao Yan whispered softly. Xiao Yan was still clear about the layout of the Burning Incense Pavilion. The Burning Incense Pavilion is divided into the cabinet and the outer cabinet. The cabinet is divided into 3 halls of heaven, earth and people, among which are the Douji Pavilion, the test ground, the cultivation cave, the medicine room, and the place where some elders live to build the entire cabinet. As for the Douji Pavilion, it is a place with countless high-level fighting skills, and even the highest-level fighting skills among the 3 halls of heaven, earth, and people. It is said that the heaven-shifting ruler that no one has cultivated in our Hall of Humanity is also in it. That is the real holy rank fighting skill. Mu Feng said excitedly. Hey, that moving the sky ruler is powerful, but no one has cultivated it for thousands of years. There are some reasons why. Xiao Yan smiled calmly, but he was vaguely passionate about this moving sky ruler. After all, this is something that even his master, the Golden Dragon King, is full of admiration. This sky-moving ruler must be obtained. Xiao Yan said slowly in his heart. The individual competition is over, and the team competition will start in a few days. You should rest well for the next few days. Mu Yingying noticed that Xiao Yan was a little tired and spoke immediately. Xiao Yan responded gently, and then returned to his room. You don't need to tell him about the terrifying people in this competition. After all, they will also participate in the team competition. Green Flute said suspiciously. No need, isn't there still us? Xiao Yi said with a light smile. Go back, let him rest for a few days. Several people thought the same, and immediately returned to their residence. Hey, boy, I don't see that your peach blossom luck is not bad. Just after entering his room, Xin Yan just strung it out and said to Xiao Yan. Okay, let's get down to business. Xiao Yan ignored this Xin Yan and spoke immediately. The woman named Mu Yingying just now should also have a holy flame on her body, right? The next moment, Xin Yan put away her condescending appearance and said calmly. That's right, but I didn't find the existence of the holy flame spirit on her body, so it's a strange thing. Xiao Yan asked. Impossible. Every holy flame has the spirit of holy flame, because we are both holy flames, and holy flames are us. Xin Wen directly denied it. Then how could she? Hearing Xin Yan's conclusion, Xiao Yan also fell into deep thought. Since knowing that Mu Yingying possessed the holy flame, Xiao Yan was quite suspicious of Mu Yingying's life experience. According to my investigation just now, if my expectations are good, there should be two possibilities for Mu Yingying. Xin Yan lowered her voice and came slowly. Which two? Xiao Yan asked eagerly. The first one is that the power of this holy flame is too powerful, which caused Mu Yingying's body to be unable to bear it, so she was sealed by the strong. Only when Mu Yingying becomes stronger can she gradually control the holy flame. And every time the seal is unlocked, it will have a big impact on her. However, this method is extremely dangerous, because the holy flame is in a sealed state, and a lot of power cannot be evaporated, so if you encounter a foreign evil clan or some people with bad intentions, the situation is extremely dangerous. But if this method is successful, it will directly assimilate the spirit of holy flame, and then that will be the real holy flame. Xin Yan said seriously. There is still such a secret. Xiao Yan nodded his head if he realized something. Then there is another way? Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask, since the first method is so dangerous, it is enough to show that this Mu Yingying's body is extremely powerful. Coupled with Xiao Yan's perception, the holy flame on Mu Yingying's body is very likely to be the first possibility. As for the second, even I can't believe it. Because all things are born, each has a spirit. Whether it is a magical beast or a holy flame, or some creatures cultivated from sand trees, it can be done. This method, we call it transfer repair. Xin Yan said slowly, but her voice was extremely heavy. Transfer? Xiao Yan heard the words, and was immediately surprised. Obviously, he had never even heard of this kind of thing. Yes, it's a conversion. In other words, it is rebuilding. Xin Yan said. What the asterisk is going on? Xiao Yan asked worriedly as he looked at the fluctuating Xin Yan in his heart. This method is only applicable to other creatures besides your humans. Man is the leader of all linked to things. www.novelmtl.com. It is worthy of the name. Not only has researched vindictiveness, but even some pharmacists who cultivate the soul, strong pupils who focus on cultivating the body, and many things are your human beings. Pioneered. Although our all things do have a long life, the breakthrough of strength is extremely slow. Even after breaking through Dou Xian, it may be difficult to improve for thousands of years, and every breakthrough will attract sanctions from the laws of heaven and earth. Catastrophe. I'm afraid there will be 10 deaths and no life. Maybe you humans are different. With the unique advantages, humans are indeed far superior to us in the process of cultivation, so there are a small number of supernatural beings that gave birth to some other ideas. Finally, under the research of countless supernatural beings, we have the idea that these supernatural beings can be transformed into human beings to cultivate. That is, after breaking through Dou Xian, All supernatural beings can choose whether to transform into human beings to cultivate or continue their own supernatural powers. However, once you choose to transform into spiritual cultivation, not only will you not be able to restore the strength of the monster's appearance, but even the strength of its fighting immortal will instantly drop, and it will be reduced to a one-star fighting emperor. But converting to human can avoid the sanction of the law of heaven and earth, and once you cultivate to the level of a god, you can be immortal and immortal. This is the so-called restoration. And many of the spirits and even some magical beasts who choose to rebuild, although they have been transformed into humans, the blood essence and magic core of the monsters at the level of fighting immortals are the favorites of human beings, so if they are not careful, I am afraid they will only find their own way to death. Xinyan slowly opened her mouth. Are you saying that Mu Yingying was originally the spirit of holy flame, and it was only when she was converted into a human being that these situations would occur? A bold idea slowly formed in Xiaoyan's heart. Set a small goal first, such as 1 second to remember. Shukju mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 607. In addition to being shocked, Xiaoyan slowly calmed down and thought carefully about Mu Yingying's every move, and found that no matter what, it could not be linked to the transfer. It's not that there is no such possibility, it's just that this possibility is too small. It is impossible for me to convert to become a human, otherwise, the rarity of the power of holy flame is coveted by countless human beings. Xinyan shook her head and said, compared with the second possibility, I am more willing to believe in the first possibility. Xiaoyan smiled wryly. Xiaoyan really did not want to believe such huge information. After all, they get along well with this Mu Yingying on weekdays. In the Xuanling Emperor Pond, this Mu Yingying used the power of holy flame to save Xiaoyan, otherwise the person from the Xuanling Emperor Pond alone would be enough to save Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan's life. By the way, Xinyan, do you know why the power of fire in my body can't be fused with your holy flame? I always feel that compared with your holy flame power, Yuo seems to be lacking in something. Xiaoyan is no longer hesitating about Mu Yingying's identity. After all, Mu Yingying's help to him is not small. What? When you say that, I really feel a little weird. These flames in your body have a lot of attributes. I'm afraid that just from what I feel, there are many kinds of devouring and purification. That's weird. I've never heard of anyone who can have so many flames at the same time. Xinyan said slightly, my flames are called different fires on our Dou Qi continent. There are 22 flames in total, and each flame is the most violent bred between heaven and earth. As for the number 1 ranking, it is the fusion of these 22 different fires. Xiaoyan explained to Xinyan. Did you fuse all those 22 flames? Xinyan asked back, looking a little weird. The fusion of those strange fires resulted in the birth of a larger power within my body. Xiaoyan said, take out the source of your flame and let me have a look. For some reason, Xinyan suddenly said hot. This. Xiaoyan hesitated for a while, but he did as he did. After all, he had already devoured the holy flame. If there was any change in this heart rock, it would probably be detrimental to others. Sure enough, at the next moment, Xinyan's hot eyes suddenly glowed with a greedy look. Because the heart actually felt a familiar aura from the source flame in front of him. That is exactly the same as the holy flame. What's going on? Xiaoyan looked at Xinyan with some vigilance, but felt a little uneasy in his heart. After you fused so many flames, did anything else appear? Xinyan continued to ask. Other things? Being asked by Xinyan, Xiaoyan was immediately confused. Xiaoyi? Xiaoyan suddenly remembered something and said suddenly, the power after the fusion of all the strange fires was indeed in Xiaoyi's body, but at that time Xiaoyi was only the fire baby of Jingli and Yaohuo, and after Xiaoyan fused all the sources of strange fires, Xiaoyi actually a series of changes have taken place, leading to a leap into a fire spirit with unlimited potential. That supernatural power that is comparable to that of a human 8-star Dou Di was born from your fusion of these flames? Xinyan asked questioningly. You can say that. Xiaoyan also seemed to know something, and immediately thought. Then these so-called peculiar fires on your body, in my opinion, should be the embryos of holy flame. Then a voice resembling a thunderous thunder echoed around Xiaoyan. What? Holy flame embryo? Xiaoyan asked with some serious surprise. Yes. After the fusion of your dozens of so-called different fires, the power of different fires in your body is formed. The power of different fires is much weaker than my holy flame. The most fundamental reason is it's just the embryo of the holy flame. If the holy flame embryo wants to truly turn into holy flame, then what is lacking in it is power. Only by constantly accumulating strength, so that the power of this strange fire is more powerful. After it is strong to a certain extent, after passing through the tempering of the laws of heaven and earth, can it truly transform and be called holy flame. Xinyan said flatly. In other words, is the power of this strange fire to be strengthened? What's more important is to overcome the calamity. Xiaoyan hesitated. Obviously Xinyan's information was too huge and shocking, and Xiaoyan couldn't let it go for a long time. Yes, that's right, it just needs to be strengthened and robbed. I felt it carefully. The dozens of different fire powers in your body are too small. Although there is a smell of holy flames, they may be ignored. Let me tell you this way, a strange fire in your body is equivalent to 1% of the power of the holy flame, and the new flame after the fusion of dozens of different fires is only 1/10 as powerful as the holy flame, understood? Xinyan explained. Then how to strengthen the power of this strange fire? Xiaoyan immediately understood after hearing Xinyan's words. It turns out that the strange fire that I obtained on the Dou continent is not an exaggeration at all, but it is too weak. Strengthening the power of different fire in your body, that's not easy. You forgot that little Yi? Xinyan reminded. Xiao Yi? Xiaoyan said with a comprehension. Although I don't know why that Xiao Yi can attach to you and provide you with powerful strength, this is impossible for any holy flame spirit to do. I think he is also a little mutated. Xinya 81 Zhang Wei and Wang Yu, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Coam. But since that Xiao Yi was born because of your fusion of the power of different fire, then I am sure that he is the holy flame spirit of your holy flame embryo. Xinyan said decisively. No way, this Xiao Yi is a fire infant on the Dou continent, how could it be? Xiaoyan couldn't help but wonder, although this Xiao Yi's strength continued to soar, in the final analysis, Xiaoyan could still be like conquering Xinyan into its own body. Into your body? It should be impossible now. The pride of holy flame will not allow two holy flame spirits to exist in one human body at the same time. You can try if you don't believe me. Xinyan watched Xiaoyan link to www.novelmtl.com come back. Xiaoyan heard the words, his heart tightened, and then the power of the strange fire in his body turned, and he shouted. Quote. With the end of Xiaoyan's burst of drinking, nothing happened. What's going on? Why can't Xiao Yi return to my body? Xiaoyan opened his eyes, and a sense of unease poured into his heart. This is normal. After all, Huaxin Tianyan is the real holy flame, but your power of different fire is just the embryo of holy flame. And I feel that this Xiao Yi is not only the holy flame spirit, but also the fire spirit you mentioned. After all, the power of our holy flame spirit is fixed, and it will only change with the strength and weakness of the holy flame owner, but you found out that, even if you devour your holy flame, the strength of the holy flame increases greatly, then little Yi has nothing to do with it. Variety. Therefore, there may be some other mutations in this holy flame spirit. I think you may have some connection with him, that's why this scene appeared. Xinyan joked. So, if I want to strengthen the power of the different fire, I'm afraid I need Xiao Yi's strength to continue to become stronger? Carry out the calamity later, so that the power of this strange fire can be transformed into a real holy flame. Xiao Yanming realized. Yes, that's right, that's it. Xinyan smiled. Then if there are no two holy flames on a human body, then what you said before about wanting to devour other holy flames will not be self-defeating. Xiaoyan looked at Xinyan with some vigilance in his heart. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 608. I can't say that. After all, Fenju, even our Schengen, has only heard of it, but few people have practiced it. However, I vaguely remember that there are some vague records on Fenju, which should be able to accommodate a variety of holy flames at the same time. Xinyan hesitated. How did you know about Fenju? Xiaoyan looked at Xinyan with some vigilance. Few people knew about Fenju's secret, so how could Xinyan know about it? Hey, this thing is dormant in my memory, and I only vaguely remember some. Xinyan smiled. Sleep? Xiaoyan asked in confusion. Your strength and memory are incomplete due to the suppression of your strength. Only after your strength reaches the 9-star Dou can you truly exert my strength. At that time, as soon as the holy flame comes out, who will compete with him? Xinyan said rather domineeringly. So that's the case. Xiaoyan shook his head. By the way, from now on, I will not appear at will, and I will not be able to help you in battle, and the power of holy flame in your body will be used less. After all, your current strength is too weak. As for the blood demon gold energy in your body, I will help you suppress it. I'm afraid it will take up to 3 years. It must be solved, otherwise the scourge will continue. Xinyan said. Xiaoyan said softly. Someone is here, by the way. Don't tell her what we just talked about. The next moment, Xinyan swept into Xiaoyan's body and disappeared. Dong dong dong. A soft knock sounded on the door. Come on. Xiaoyan slightly tidied up his room, then walked to open the door. Why are you? As soon as the door was opened, Mu Yingying's slender body appeared in front of Xiaoyan. I have something to talk to you about. Mu Yingying looked around and found that there was no one around, and said, Come in, it's cold outside. As the door closed gently, the night of the dark and windy moon resumed. If you have something, tell me. Seeing Mu Yingying sitting down, Xiaoyan immediately poured a cup of tea. Actually, it's not that difficult, I just want you to help me with one thing. Mu Yingying was a little hard to say, and at first glance, she knew that she had never asked anyone. What's the matter? Xiaoyan felt friendly towards Mu Yingying. After all, they were from the same family, and Mu Yingying was a good person, so it was worth getting along with. I need to cross the robbery. 6-star Dou Tribulation. The plain voice gave Xiaoyan a blow to the head. What? Are you crazy? Xiaoyan was shocked when he heard this. Although Xiaoyan's strength skyrocketed to the late 6-star Dou after devouring Sheng Yan, the Dou Emperor Tribulation did not appear, but even so, Xiaoyan knew from other people the horror of this Dou Emperor Tribulation. A careless, instant fall. I'm not crazy, I need strength. Mu Yingying gritted her teeth and said firmly, with a rare heaviness in her voice. No, your 5-star Dou Emperor consummation has just stabilized. If you forcibly cross the Dou Emperor Tribulation now, I'm afraid it will only end in failure. Xiaoyan refused to show Mu Yingying any sympathy at all. Have you forgotten that we have the mysterious power of the Xuanling Emperor Pond in our bodies? Mu Yingying's tone softened and she said to Xiaoyan, That doesn't work either. I'm not sure about that kind of thing. If one accidentally fails, it will have a great impact on your foundation. It's too dangerous. Xiaoyan shook his head, but still refused. I'm here this time to ask you to help me, because I've never asked anyone other than my brother. Mu Yingying's voice was a little hoarse, but she said very stubbornly. Forcibly crossing the calamity like this will only bring yourself to the point of no redemption. Xiaoyan was obviously a little angry. What exactly is Mu Yingying making trouble with? I have to survive the calamity, I can't wait. Mu Yingying said firmly. No. Xiaoyan directly threw the teacup in his hand and said angrily. 3 days later, Hushan. After Mu Yingying finished speaking, ignoring Xiaoyan, she slowly raised the teacup with her jade hand and drank all the tea in it. Tea is delicious. After Mu Yingying finished speaking, she passed Xiaoyan and left. Damn, what the asterisk is Mu Yingying doing? Aren't you afraid of death by forcing a breakthrough like this? Xiaoyan was speechless. I see that Mu Yingying has a lot of secrets. And I can see that she also has a little interest in you. Why don't you try it? Mu Yingying just left, that Xinyan said slowly in Xiaoyan's heart. Okay, don't interrupt, what the asterisk is this Mu Yingying doing? Xiaoyan looked at the figure of Mu Yingying who was leaving, but felt that the holy flame he swallowed was somewhat afraid. The holy flame on this woman should be higher than yours. Although I don't know what she wants to do, she is right. She can indeed overcome the calamity now, and the success rate is quite high. Xinyan's voice Xiaoyan slowly resounded in his heart. Just because of the holy flame. Xiaoyan also noticed it and said immediately. It is estimated that because this fire heart Tianyan has some resonance with the holy flame in her body, her strength cannot be suppressed without breaking through. Xinyan said, so it's very likely that she was in the first situation just now? Xiaoyan asked. I'm not sure, but the first possibility is high, but I can't rule out the second possibility. Xinyan said, quote. Xiaoyan rolled his eyes helplessly. You'd better take a look at the situation in your body first. You can only master the skin of this holy flame. Taking advantage of this time to master the holy flame space, it will definitely increase your increase. Xinyan said strangely. www.novelmtllinked.com Holy flame space? Wouldn't the use of the holy flame space expose the fact that I have holy flames? Xiao Yan was a little puzzled by this Xinyan's words. The holy flame space exists in a similar domain, and ordinary people may not find out that this is the holy flame space. At most, they think that the domain is just a prototype. Otherwise, do you think that we, Sheng Yan, can be called the king of flames for nothing? Xinyan said to Xiao Yan with some disdain. Okay. Hearing this, Xiao Yan immediately felt at ease, then sat cross-legged, carefully feeling the power of the holy flame and the holy flame space in his body. As for the flame beasts and holy flame crystals in the Dou Qi Sea, the core inscriptions of life in the Spirit Sea are slowly standing. My current strength is already in the late stage of the 6-star Dou Emperor. With the addition of holy flame and soul power, as a second-grade Emperor alchemist, I am afraid that I can deal with some 7-star Dou Emperor powerhouses. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, if he looked into the distance thoughtfully. Kai Lin, I didn't expect you to come to this Dou D continent with such a rapid improvement in your strength that you actually reached the level of Dou Xian. Although I believe that the strength of Dou Xian must have paid a price, as long as you have something to do, I, Xiao Yan, will be the first. Do it, my Xiao Yan's woman, but no one dares to be presumptuous. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, a huge aura surged out instantly, and then slowly reverberated in the house. Hey, this kid actually practices Fenju. I really don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. I think that the strong man who practiced Fenju in the past was also defeated in the hands of the evil tribe outside the realm. Xiao Yan's body made a deep voice, and then quieted down. In the entire wooden house, only Xiao Yan was working hard to control it. Ohm power. Set a small goal first, such as 1 second to remember. Shukju mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 609. When dawn crosses the sky and the afterglow of the sun scatters over the earth, it heralds the beginning of the day. Xiao Yan, early, what are you going to do when you get up so early? Mu Feng, who was on the side, saw Xiao Yan long ago, and immediately greeted him warmly. Hee, I just came out of the desert mountain range, and I just want to go to the competition field to practice my hands. By the way, let's take a look at the other powerhouses in our Fenxiang pavilion. It's good for the team competition in a few days. Xiao Yan said without shyness. Then I happen to be familiar with this place. I'll take you there. I also want to see your strength. Mu Feng said with a grin. Let's go. On the way, I'll tell you about the results of our individual competition in the 3 halls of heaven, earth and man in the burning incense pavilion. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he took the lead in walking. When we cultivated in the desert mountain range, we did get a lot of benefits, and our strength improved by leaps and bounds. However, after cultivating for 2 years, the desert mountain range actually sank and disappeared, so we had to withdraw. Returning to the burning incense pavilion, and then retreating again, my strength has skyrocketed a lot. When we get out of the customs, the individual competition at Burning Incense Pavilion will begin. After our consideration, we decided to give up the individual competition. After all, in the individual competition, the strength of the Temple of Earth and Heaven is unquestionably strong, and we don't want to go when you are not there. Mu Feng said slowly on the road. What is the strength of the people in the Temple of Earth and Heaven? Xiao Yan heard the words, and immediately felt warm at the actions of Mu Feng and the others. Among our human halls, we are the weakest. Because among the most powerful disciples in our human palace, I'm afraid you are the only one. Mu Feng said bitterly, What? Am I alone? Could it be that there are no more disciples above the 6-star Dou D in our human palace? Xiao Yan suddenly stopped in surprise and looked at Mu Feng. You can't say the same thing, because many of the disciples in our human temple came here to move the heaven-shifting ruler, so in the end, they couldn't get the heaven-moving ruler. Naturally, it was an opportunity to go out to experience and find a breakthrough. So in our human palace, except for the 5 of us, all the senior brothers left early. Mu Feng said, That means that there are only 5 of us in the human palace this time? Xiao Yan couldn't help shrinking his eyes. Yes. So during the individual competition, Mu Shuji said let us wait for you to directly participate in the team competition. Mu Feng said helplessly. I see. Xiao Yan thought it was a little funny and said, what the asterisk is this person doing? The number of disciples is too small. Mu Shuji said that it is better to be short than to waste. Mu Feng hurriedly explained. As for the powerhouses in that temple, there are as many as 5 of the 6-star Dou Emperor powerhouses alone, and there are also quite a few powerhouses who are in the perfection of the 5-star Dou Emperor. There are even rumors that the senior brother in the temple has reached the level of a 7-star fighting emperor. Xiao Yan said with some difficulty. 5 6-star fighting emperors? A 7-star fighting emperor? Xiao Yan couldn't help but frown upon hearing this. As for the strength in this palace, although I didn't know it before, since it is stronger than the palace of people, it will definitely not be weaker than the palace of people, but how can I think that the strong people in this palace are so terrifying? 5 6-star fighting emperors and 1 7-star fighting emperor, this is comparable to the strength of some medium-sized families. Where's the Temple of Heaven? Xiao Yan still couldn't help asking. Since this earth palace is so terrifying, if the heavenly palace is. In the case of the Temple of Heaven, only one person will participate in this individual competition, and he will be defeated by the second senior brother of the Temple of Earth. Mu Feng said, I don't know who is playing in the heavenly palace. Xiao Yan asked, this day, the disciples of the heavenly palace actually lost to the earth palaces, which is somewhat inconceivable. The person who shot from the heavenly palace is named Ling Sha, and he is a strong man who has reached the late stage of the 6-star Dou Emperor. And the strength of the second apprentice brother Zhu Yuan in that hall was to reach the 6-star Dou Emperor consummation. In the decisive battle, Zhu Yuan won the victory only by 1.5 strokes. But everyone with discernment knows that if this Zhu Yuan is stronger than Ling Sha, Zhu Yuan would not have won. Mu Feng said with some envy. In the late stage of the Ling Sha 6-star Dou Di in the heavenly palace, is the second senior brother in the earth palace, Zhu Yuan, the 6-star Dou Di consummated. It's really hard to deal with. Xiao Yan rubbed his head vigorously. By the way, how many disciples were there in the hall that day? Xiao Yan suddenly asked after a little deep voice. It is said that there are only 7 disciples of the Temple of Heaven. From the beginning of its establishment to the present, there have been only 7, and there has been no change. Mu Feng said thoughtfully, is that so? It seems that there seems to be some secret in this heavenly palace. Xiao showed a strange smile on the corner of his mouth. This heavenly palace is definitely not easy. It's here. Just as the two were talking, a plaque appeared in front of them. Competition venue. 3 big characters with flying and phoenix dancing slowly appeared. Senior brother 5th, let me tell you, that Xiao Yan from the Earth Palace is back. He is very arrogant. A beautiful woman said to a man who was drawing fists in the competition arena. Xiao Yan? What's wrong with him? The man was dressed in portable clothes, his handsome face matched the smile on his face, and he also had a somewhat tall image. It's just that every punch he punches is extraordinarily powerful, causing a slight vibration in the space. As soon as he came back, he broke into the sky above burning Tianyu without authorization. The sky above burning Tianyu is expressly stipulated not to break in. Second senior brother asked Yi Qing to take Xiao Yan back to our hall to ask 1 or 2. How do you know that this Xiao Yan is arrogant, and even hit Yi Qing's nose and face? The woman said indignantly. Hey, after all these years, few people dare to provoke you like this. Doesn't he know who you are? The man didn't stop what he was doing. He punched a series of fists and then put it away, wiped a sweat and said to the woman. As the brother of this little witch, he naturally knows the character of this little witch, so the little witch just opened her mouth, and he faintly guessed the truth of the link to matter www.novelmtl.com. 5th senior brother, you are the one who loves Schwenner the most on weekdays. You have to give me a bad breath. The woman is the Ling Xuan that Xiao Yan met before. Exporting bad anger? Why didn't you tell the palace master, but come to me instead? The man smiled slowly. There was no reproach in his smile, but rather a taste of pampering. Everyone in the temple knew that Ling Xuan was the daughter of the master of the temple. I'm afraid only someone who was tired of living would provoke this little witch. Dad, he doesn't seem to be here these days. Ling Zan's tone was filled with displeasure, and her eyes moved slightly. Is that the person who disappeared for 5 years, Xiao Yan? 5th senior brother Wang Chen smiled, and then a terrifying aura leaked out. Yes, it's him. It's too arrogant, so I have to teach him a good lesson. Ling Zan clenched her fist tightly and said, "Let's go. I'll go with you to see how sacred Xiao Yan is in this man's palace." After Wang Chen finished speaking, he patted the dust on his shoulders before speaking. "What? Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang Wu, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Co-M, 5 senior brothers. Wait a minute, that seems to be Xiao Yan." Just when Wang Chen was about to leave the competition arena to find Xiao Yan, Ling Xuan Breakthrough widened her eyes and raised her jade hand, pointing to a place. "Damn, I really can't escape." Xiao Yan cursed inwardly. "Ask for tickets." End of this chapter.